Welcome back to the All Things Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Vic Lopez, as always, and today we're going to be looking at why the Milwaukee Bucks offense looks as bad as it does. These guys have had some horrendous losses, starting with the Bulls one, and then giving up like 130 points. Then they lose to the Nets on their next game, and they follow that up with a back-to-back against the Celtics, which I expected them to lose. It's at Boston, not to mention Boston definitely being the better team. They actually looked better against the Celtics, and I'm going to be going through the clips of those three games, even though the Memphis Grizzlies one deserves some attention as well, because I think that was the ultimate low. If you ask me, shot quality is a problem with this team. Taking care of the ball is a problem with this team. Decision making is also something that I think a lot of guys are struggling with at the moment. There's a lot of frustration going on this team right now, and it's very visible. Let's jump right into these clips. I am a fan of the details and mini mistakes or mini bad decisions, because these things just add up over time and they end up costing you games. Giannis does these things sometimes where he gets a little confident and he'll try to take a three in transition. He is just not taking the Bulls seriously enough, in my opinion, to get into better offense, and instead just pulling up this little transition top of the key three that never goes in, right? Like, these shots do not go in for Giannis. So I get it, Vucevic, flat-footed, right? You're wide open, but you're open for a reason, right? So much time left. You literally just brought the ball up. This is not how you want to start the flow of the game. Like, I don't care what anyone says. If Giannis takes shots like this, I can't imagine his teammates being very happy about these attempts. Okay, here's clip number 2, and it also involves Giannis. So he telegraphs where the pass is going to go, right? He's got Buzelis in front of him, by the way, 6'10" with a 6'10" wingspan, according to the draft combine stuff. And he is staring down Bobby Portis. Picks up his dribble, looks at Bobby Portis the entire time, and just disrespectfully tries to make this pass over Buzelis. Of course, Buzelis gets a deflection off that, and it's a turnover, and the Bulls go the other way, right? Like, it's just that lack of focus. And it's not just Giannis. Here's a Bobby Portis clip. The Bucks are up 3. And it's early in the second quarter. 17 seconds left in the shot clock. Plenty of time to get quality offense. And what do? They just give it to Portis, and nothing happens, right? No movement. Everything's stagnant. This is a clear, give it to Portis and see what we can get out of it. I love Portis. Very capable scorer. Definitely has a good post game. He can shoot the ball. He's very skilled. But this is not quality offense. It's a long two-pointer, and it's contested over Jalen Smith, who has really good size, to contest that. And of course, it's a miss, and the Bulls go the other way. You see, you don't value your possessions when you do things like this. And speaking of shot quality, right? Here's a play, right? There's 16 seconds left on the shot clock, right? Plenty of time to figure something out. You got Vucevic on you, right? This is Gary Trent Jr. with Vucevic on him. A pretty easy guy to attack, right? Maybe you can eat some space and get it to Brook Lopez on that roll. Maybe he draws a collapse. Maybe he just scores on Josh Giddey down low, right? A lot of things can happen. He can maybe kick it out to Taurean Prince, because you also see Buzelis kind of respecting Brook Lopez a little bit as well, because he's helping Vucevic, right? So maybe he can kick it to Taurean Prince. Maybe Buzelis then closes out hard, and maybe Taurean Prince can find a better angle for Brook Lopez inside. Maybe Taurean Prince can attack the Buzelis closeout. But no, we get this instead. Just step back, long two, late contest over Vucevic, and it goes in, right? But this is the problem that I have with this team. You have Damian Lillard, who loves taking difficult shots, just loves taking hard shots, and he can make them. He's an incredible shot maker, but it's a gift and a curse when you have a guy like that on your team. Then you also have Gary Trent Jr., who likes his fair share of some difficult shots on the move, like the one I just showed you guys, right? You get some heat check moments from Giannis, like when you see him pull up those really long twos or even threes in transition. You get Bobby Portis, who's kind of in that realm of, let me just try to go get a bucket. And it's just a lot of difficult shot taking
which is obviously something that every team needs to have. But when your defense can't compensate for some of those bad possessions, it's going to put you in a position that the Milwaukee Bucks often find themselves in, which is tight games, or if they get a lead, a team will start chipping away at it if they go cold because they're just not able to get stops consistently. So one of the things I talked about a little bit earlier is how out of sync these Milwaukee Bucks are. Here's Giannis posted up. He draws two, and he's expecting Taurean Prince to fill the corner. So he preemptively kind of throws it ahead, and Taurean Prince just stopped midway through his run, and it's a turnover from Giannis. And if you look at Giannis, definitely looking frustrated, pointing towards the floor where he wanted Taurean Prince to be. Clearly just a lack of communication or just not being in sync. Brook Lopez is a guy that likes to step into his threes, and I normally wouldn't have a big problem with him taking this shot, but it's really Pat Connaughton in the corner that makes me upset when I watch these Bucks. I constantly see guys just standing around, especially when their defender is not even looking at them, like Noah Clowney is here, completely turned away from Pat Connaughton. Not for a second does Pat Connaughton think, let me cut back door and see if I can put some pressure on the defense. It's the lack of off-ball movement that I'm noticing from these Bucks that really hurts them as well. So it kind of makes other guys justified in taking some tough shots, because if no one's moving, nothing else is going to be happening. Here's a very similar situation with Giannis on the ball. He's basically drawing two, right? Engaging with Dennis Schroeder and Nick Claxton, and even Zaire Williams is here. It's like a three-man wall, and I just watch AJ Green standing in the corner. Not 1 second does he think to cut and put some pressure on Dennis Schroeder. This allows the three guys to just watch Giannis the entire time and not be punished for it. Pat Connaughton also just standing around, not making a cut, just not putting any pressure on the defense. It's just guys really just standing around and waiting for Giannis to make a decision. And it just makes things harder, and now Giannis takes this two-pointer, and it's a miss. Here's another one of those just unnecessary turnovers. He sees a bunch of defenders on his side of the floor, so he thinks to just kick it to the opposite side over to DeLon Wright. But, just I guess DeLon Wright not ready for it. Maybe he should have caught it. Just basically another one of those unnecessary turnovers. So moving on to a few of the last clips in this video. Against the Celtics, the Bucks did seem a little more locked in, but nonetheless, a lot of the similar things are happening consistently with this team. So we get this very sloppy turnover from Giannis. I mean, he was looking for Bobby Portis on that one. Giannis just throws the ball away sometimes in situations where you're just not even sure how he even thought that it was going to get through. And then this is really where I want to end it. It's 3 plays in a row where the Bucks get back-to-back threes from Giannis and even a 3 from Andre Jackson Jr., who I actually prefer to take the shot over Giannis. And Grant Hill actually mentions this after the Andre Jackson shot, and I want you guys to listen to it as these clips play.
And look, 3 straight possessions, Milwaukee. You had non-3-point shooters taking 3-point shots. Jackson on that last shot, and then Antetokounmpo the 2 previous possessions. So getting away from what's been working for Milwaukee.
The Bucks are just in a really bad place at the moment with rumors surrounding Giannis, linked to certain teams. There's the Doc Rivers press conferences where you feel like he's kind of running out of things to say. And where the Bucks stand right now, they're 25th in offensive rating, while also sitting at 22nd in defensive rating, which are numbers after that Memphis Grizzlies loss. And you would think it's only up from here, but doesn't seem like things are getting better. Definitely not the way the Milwaukee Bucks wanted to start this season. Definitely not how I expected them to come out of the gate. And they look even worse than last year. Still a small sample size, but I'm very interested to see what happens with these Milwaukee Bucks. Hopefully this team turns things around.